Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're going to tackle Oakmont Country Club.
Oh,
It's so
Oakmont.
legendary. It's practically its own character in golf history.
Yeah?
You're heading there for the 2025 U.S. Open, so we're diving into all the source material you sent over.
Okay.
Articles, course guides, even some historical accounts.
Awesome.
Get ready for a wild ride.
It's fascinating how Oakmont, designed back in 1904, remains one of the toughest courses even today.
Wow, 1904.
It consistently ranks among the top 10 in America, and for good reason.
From what I've read, it seems like the designer, W.C. Founds, was determined to create a true test of golf.
Yeah.
A place where every shot had to be earned.
Absolutely. His philosophy was, a shot poorly played should be a shot irrevocably lost.
Wow.
And that's woven into every aspect of Oakmont's design.
So it's not just about punishing bad shots.
No, it's about demanding strategic thinking and precision on every single swing.
That's a pretty bold statement.
Yeah.
So where does this ultimate test begin? Let's talk about the first hole.
The first hole at Oakmont is notorious for setting the tone. Picture this. You're teeing off on a downhill fairway that slopes towards a green that also slopes away.
Oh, wow.
It's a double whammy of deception right from the start.
I read that some members even putt from 50 yards out on that green. Is that true?
It's not uncommon. The slopes are so severe that putting can sometimes be the safest option, even from a distance. It's all about avoiding those treacherous bunkers and slopes around the hole.
That sounds more like a physics problem than a golf hole. It's no wonder the first hole at Oakmont is considered one of the toughest opening holes in all of golf. But speaking of tough, I've heard whispers about these infamous church pews bunkers on the third and fourth holes.
Ah, yes. The church pews?
Okay.
They're as intimidating as they sound.
Huh.
These long, narrow bunkers, shaped like church pews, are a defining feature of Oakmont. They come into play on both the third and fourth holes, adding a layer of strategic complexity.
What makes them so difficult? Is it just their size and placement?
It's more than that. They're strategically placed to force golfers to make a decision. Play it safe and lay up short of them, or take an aggressive line and risk ending up in the sand.
And I read that getting stuck in the smaller, deeper bunkers is actually worse than ending up in the larger ones. How does that make sense?
Think of it like this. The smaller bunkers are tucked into the slope on the right side of the fairway. The angle and depth make it extremely difficult to get a clean shot out,
Oh, okay.
especially with those fast greens waiting on the other side.
It sounds like Oakmont is designed to make you think 2 or 3 steps ahead, always weighing the risks and rewards of every shot.
Exactly. It's a mental game as much as it is a physical one.
So we've faced the first hole's deceptions and the Church Pews strategic challenge. What other trials await us on Oakmont's front nine?
Well, next up is the fifth hole, a par 4 that throws another curveball at you with a blind tee shot.
Blind tee shot.
Huh.
Talk about adding to the pressure.
You're aiming for a tall white post in the distance, hoping to avoid a network of bunkers and ditches lurking in the landing area. It's a true test of trust in your swing and your ability to visualize the shot.
And then, of course, you have to contend with another one of those tricky Oakmont greens.
Of course, the fifth green is notorious for its subtle breaks and undulations. Even if you hit a great approach shot, you're not out of the woods yet.
Didn't Dustin Johnson have a bit of an incident with a moving golf ball on this green during the 2016 U.S. Open?
He did. Remember, those greens are lightning fast, and even the slightest movement can cause a ball to shift. Johnson was assessed a penalty stroke because his ball moved on the green, which ultimately impacted the outcome of the tournament.
It really highlights how every detail matters at Oakmont. From the speed of the greens to the slope of the fairways, there's no room for complacency. But speaking of detail, the sixth hole seems like a bit of a departure from the long, challenging par 4s we've seen so far. It's a short par 3, right?
It is. But don't let the yardage fool you. The sixth hole is a classic example of how Oakmont can be deceivingly difficult.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What makes this seemingly straightforward par 3 so treacherous?
It all comes back to Found's design philosophy. A shot poorly played should be a shot irrevocably lost. The green on the sixth is small, severely sloped, and surrounded by bunkers. Even a slightly mishit shot can leave you scrambling for par.
So it's not about overpowering the hole, it's about finesse and precision. You have to respect the design and execute the shot perfectly.
Precisely. And that's what makes Oakmont so captivating. It's a constant battle of wits between the golfer and the course.
Speaking of battles of wits, I heard a story about how Founds added a bunker to the 7th hole just to mess with a pro golfer.
Ah, yes. The legendary tale of Sam Snead in the seventh hole.
Oh, yeah.
During the 1951 PGA Championship, Snead kept hitting his tee shot to the same spot, just short of the green.
Okay.
Founds, known for his meticulous control over the course, decided to add a bunker right there, overnight. That's exactly what happened. It was a bold move, and some might even call it mischievous, but it illustrates Found's commitment to making Oakmont a challenging and ever-evolving test of golf.
It's a good thing course designers aren't allowed to make those kinds of changes mid-tournament anymore.
You're right. Today's courses are much more collaborative efforts between designers and players.
Okay.
But back then, Founds had a vision, and he wasn't afraid to make it a reality, even if it meant tweaking the course during a major championship.
That story perfectly captures the unique personality of Oakmont. It's a course with a rich history and a stubborn determination to challenge even the greatest golfers.
And we've only just begun to scratch the surface. There are still so many more stories to uncover and challenges to explore as we make our way through the rest of Oakmont's legendary layout. From Found's bold design choices to those lightning-fast greens, Oakmont is full of surprises. And speaking of surprises, the 8th hole might seem relatively tame on the scorecard, but it's anything but easy.
What makes this par 3 stand out amongst the rest?
Well, for one, it's a long one, demanding a precise tee shot to avoid the bunkers guarding the green. And once you're on the green, you're faced with a 3-tiered putting surface that can make even the most seasoned pros sweat. Even Johnny Miller, who famously shot a record-breaking 63 in the final round of the '73 U.S. Open, bogeyed this hole.
Wow, if Johnny Miller couldn't tame it, that tells you something about its difficulty. It's a good reminder that Oakmont demands respect no matter your skill level.
Absolutely. Every shot counts at Oakmont. But, it's not just about avoiding bogeys. It's about embracing the challenge and appreciating the nuances of the course.
Okay, on to the 9th hole, and this one sounds particularly unique. I read that it shares a green with the practice green.
That's right. It's a massive multi-level green that serves double duty, adding a layer of unpredictability to the game.
So you could be lining up a crucial putt only to have a stray ball from the practice green roll across your line. That's wild. I can only imagine the chaos that must ensue.
It's definitely a spectacle, and a testament to Oakmont's unconventional charm. But beyond the entertainment factor, it also reflects a key aspect of Oakmont's design philosophy: adaptability.
Adaptability? How so?
Think about it. The golfers have to adapt to the unpredictable nature of the shared green, adjusting their strategies and mental game accordingly. And in a way, it mirrors the challenges they face throughout the course. Oakmont constantly throws curveballs, demanding that players adapt to its ever-changing conditions and strategic demands.
That's a really insightful connection. It's not just about hitting good shots. It's about adjusting to the unexpected and staying mentally sharp.
Exactly, and that adaptability is a key skill for success, both on the golf course and in life.
Well said. Okay, we're officially making the turn onto the back nine. I've heard that the 10th hole underwent a dramatic transformation in the 1990s.
It did. The removal of trees along the 10th fairway revealed a stunning links-style design that had been hidden for decades.
That was a pretty controversial decision at the time, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Some traditionalists felt that the trees were an integral part of Oakmont's character. But ultimately, the tree removal program restored the 10th hole, and many others, to its original design intent, showcasing the natural contours of the land and creating a more open and challenging experience.
So it sounds like it enhanced the strategic aspect of the hole as well.
Absolutely. The wider fairways and exposed contours require golfers to think more strategically about their tee shots and approach shots.
And I read that this hole has been particularly unkind to Tom Watson, costing him the lead in 2 separate championships.
It has. In the '78 PGA Championship, Watson held a 5-shot lead going into the final round, but a costly double bogey on the 10th sent him spiraling, ultimately costing him the victory. And then in '83, he bogeyed the 10th again, paving the way for Larry Nelson to seize the lead and win the championship.
It seems like the 10th hole is where dreams go to die, but it also highlights how one hole can dramatically shift the momentum of a tournament.
Oakmont is full of such pivotal moments. It's a course where every shot matters, and even the slightest miscalculation can have significant consequences.
Okay, we've survived the 10th hole's trials. What awaits us on the 11th?
The 11th is another short par 4 that plays uphill to a green purse winner to precariously above a massive front bunker. And this hole highlights another unique aspect of Oakmont: the preservation of its original green contours.
You mean they haven't changed the slopes and undulations of the greens in over a century?
For the most part, no. They might have expanded the edges of some greens over the years, but those core contours, the ones that make Oakmont's greens so notoriously difficult, have remained largely untouched.
It's like they're protecting a sacred piece of golf history.
It's a testament to the brilliance of the original design and the club's commitment to preserving Oakmont's legacy.
I love that. Okay, let's keep moving. Tell us about the 12th hole.
The 12th is a majestic par 5, stretching over 600 yards and winding its way through the heart of the property. It's a classic risk-reward hole, with a fairway that slopes dramatically from left to right.
So you have to decide whether to play it safe and aim for the high side of the fairway or take a gamble and try to cut the corner, risking a shot into the hazards lurking on the right.
Exactly. And to make things even more interesting, the green is angled away from the line of play, making those approach shots even more challenging. It's a hole that demands both power and precision.
Oakmont doesn't let up, does it? Well, let's tackle the 13th hole. What stories can you share about this one?
The 13th is a par 3 with a green that slopes from right to left, guarded by a deep bunker on the left. And it's a hole that holds a special place in Arnold Palmer's heart, or perhaps I should say, a place of heartbreak.
What happened?
Well, in the 1962 U.S. Open, Palmer was in contention for the title, but a three-putt on the 13th green derailed his chances. He ultimately lost to Jack Nicklaus by a single stroke, a heartbreaking loss that many attribute to that fateful three-putt.
Wow, what a dramatic turning point. It's amazing how one hole can have such a profound impact on a golfer's career.
Oakmont is full of such defining moments. It's a course that tests not only your physical skills, but also your mental fortitude.
Okay, we're getting closer to the finish line. Tell us about the 14th hole.
The 14th is a challenging par 4 with a fairway that slopes towards hazards on the left side. The green is elevated and well protected, demanding accuracy on your approach shot. It's a classic Oakmont hole, demanding, strategic, and unforgiving of any mistakes.
It sounds like you need nerves of steel to navigate this course. Okay, what about the 15th hole? I've heard great things about this one.
The 15th is widely considered one of the best holes in golf. Renowned golf writer Dan Jenkins even named it the best 15th hole in America.
Wow, that's high praise. What makes it so special?
It's a visual masterpiece, for starters. The hole features a series of bunkers on the left side known as the piano keys because of their long, narrow shape. These bunkers force players to make a decision, challenge them with a draw, or play it safe to the right, risking a tougher approach shot.
So it's another one of those risk-reward scenarios that Oakmont is famous for.
Exactly. And then there's the green. It's massive, over 60 feet deep with a swale in the middle, and it slopes dramatically from back to front. Arnold Palmer once famously said that putting on this green was a job for a master surgeon, which he admitted he was not.
So even if you hit a great approach shot, you still have to contend with a green that's practically its own obstacle course.
That's the beauty of Oakmont. It's a course that demands excellence in every aspect of the game, from tee to green.
Okay, on to the 16th hole. What can you tell us about this one?
The 16th is a long par 3 that plays uphill to a green guarded by bunkers on both sides. It's a hole that has witnessed its share of dramatic moments, including a crucial putt by Larry Nelson in the final round of the 1983 U.S. Open.
Tell me more.
Well, Nelson sank an improbable 60-footer to take a one-shot lead over Tom Watson, a lead he held on to for the victory. It was a clutch moment that solidified his place in Oakmont's history.
It's incredible how these seemingly small moments, like a single putt, can have some profound impact on a championship.
That's the magic of Oakmont. It's a course where history is made shot by shot.
Well, we're down to the final 2 holes. What awaits us on the 17th?
The 17th is a drivable par 4 that presents another tantalizing risk-reward decision. Do you go for the green off the tee and try for an eagle or birdie, or do you play it safe and lay up, hoping for a par? It's a decision that has made and broken many a golfer's round at Oakmont.
It must be tempting to go for the green, especially with the tournament on the line, but I imagine there are plenty of stories about golfers who regretted that decision.
Oh, there are. Back in the 1960 U.S. Open, Arnold Palmer, known for his aggressive style of play, tried to drive the green and ended up hitting his ball into a tree. He needed 8 shots to recover from that miscue, costing him a chance at the title. And then in 2007, Jim Furyk, also trying to reach the green off the tee, missed his shot and made bogey, which ultimately kept him from winning his second U.S. Open championship.
So it's a hole that can reward you handsomely, but also punish you severely. It's a microcosm of Oakmont itself.
Exactly. Oakmont demands respect. It's a course that rewards those who play smart and punishes those who get too greedy.
Okay, we've made it to the final hole. What can you tell us about the 18th at Oakmont?
The 18th is a fittingly epic finishing hole a long par 4 that plays downhill to an offset fairway and then uphill to a green that's, well, a masterpiece of design.
I'm sensing a theme here. Masterpiece of design seems to be a recurring phrase when describing Oakmont's features.
It's true. But in the case of the 18th green, it's particularly apt. The green is tiered with subtle breaks and borrows that make reading putts incredibly difficult. It's a green that can make or break a championship.
I remember you mentioning a dramatic moment from the 1962 U.S. Open playoff between Jack Nicklaus and Arnold Palmer that happened on the 18th.
Ah, yes. It's a story that highlights not only the drama of Oakmont, but also the integrity of the game. Jack had a two-shot lead going into the 18th, and after Arnold missed his bogey putt, he assumed the match was over and picked up Jack's ball marker. But Joe Day, the executive director of the USGA, intervened, pointing out that Jack hadn't officially holed out yet.
So they made him go back and finish the hole properly.
They did. Jack had to put his ball into the cup to officially secure his victory, even though everyone, including Palmer, thought he'd already won.
That's an incredible display of sportsmanship and respect for the rules, even in the heat of competition.
It's a testament to the spirit of Oakmont and the game of golf itself.
Well, we've journeyed through all 18 holes of Oakmont, and it's been an incredible experience.
It really has. We've seen its iconic features, heard its dramatic stories, and learned why it's considered one of the toughest and most revered courses in the world. It's a course that has stood the test of time, challenging and inspiring generations of golfers.
We've explored its rich history, its design philosophy, and the enduring legacy it has on the world of golf.
And what's truly remarkable is that even after 120 years, Oakmont remains as relevant and challenging as ever.
It's a testament to the genius of its original design and the meticulous care that has gone into preserving its unique character.
Exactly. And as we look ahead to the 2025 U.S. Open, it's exciting to think about how the best players in the world will face Oakmont's challenges with modern equipment and strategies.
I'm already on the edge of my seat. It's going to be a thrilling event, that's for sure. But before we tee off on that discussion, I have a thought-provoking question for our listeners, many of whom are probably dreaming of playing Oakmont themselves.
I'm all ears.
So we've covered a lot of ground in our Oakmont deep dive, from its treacherous greens to its iconic holes and the legendary moments that have unfolded on this hallowed ground.
It's amazing, isn't it? It really highlights how Oakmont has played such a critical role in shaping the history of golf. Challenging champions and etching their names into the annals of the sport. From Bobby Jones to Gene Sayers and Sam Snead, Jack Nicklaus, Larry Nelson, and Arnold Palmer.
Yeah, the list goes on and on.
He does.
And it's clear that Oakmont isn't just a golf course. It's an experience, a test of character, and a journey through the heart of golf history.
Beautifully said. And as we look ahead to the 2025 U.S. Open, one can't help but feel a sense of anticipation and excitement. Who will conquer Oakmont's challenges and add their name to the list of champions.
It's going to be a thrilling event, that's for sure. And for our listeners who are already picturing themselves standing on that first tee box, I have one final thought-provoking question to leave you with.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
Imagine you have a chance to play around at Oakmont.
Okay.
Would you rather play it with its modern setup or, as it was originally designed, with all those trees that were removed in the 90s?
That's a fascinating question. Both versions of Oakmont offer such unique challenges and rewards.
Yeah.
The modern setup, with its wider fairways and more exposed greens, might seem more inviting at first glance, But the original design, with its tree-lined fairways and tighter angles, would demand a different kind of precision and strategic thinking.
It's almost like choosing between two different eras of golf.
It is.
The modern game, with its emphasis on power and technology, versus the classic game, where accuracy and finesse were paramount.
It's a choice that reflects not only your personal preferences, but also your philosophy of golf, Do you embrace the modern advancements and the challenge they present, or do you yearn for a simpler time when the game was more about strategy and shot-making than raw power?
Yeah, it's a question that every golfer who steps onto Oakmont's hallowed grounds must grapple with in their own way.
For sure.
And that, I think, is part of what makes this course so special.
Absolutely. Oakmont is more than just a golf course.
Yeah.
It's a living museum of the game, a place where history and tradition collide with the modern era, creating an experience that is both timeless and unforgettable.
Well said. We hope our deep dive into Oakmont has given you a glimpse into the heart and soul of this legendary course.
Yeah.
And we hope it has inspired you to embrace the challenges and rewards of this incredible game.
Thanks for joining us on this journey.
And remember, whether you're teeing it up at Oakmont or your local municipal course,
Yeah.
the true joy of golf lies in the pursuit of excellence, the camaraderie of the game, and the enduring spirit of competition.
Until next time, keep those drives straight, those putts true, and your love for the game alive.